is over. Did we just see what we think we just saw?
If that doesn't give you chills, you're never going to get them.
As good as it gets.
A few miles from the capital in Pawtucket, the dog days of summer are nearly here for two teams trying to stay attached to a logjam in the standings. Clay Holstead, the most appearances in Rhode Island's history, back-to-back conference finals. Well, Brooklyn is new, but league vets like Stefan Stojanovic have them optimistic they can turn the corner now. Rhode Island and Brooklyn on CBS Sports Network. You're watching the USL on CBS Sports, presented by Best Western. We come to you from just outside the capital of Rhode Island. In Pawtucket, it's Rhode Island FC taking on Brooklyn FC, a USL Championship fixture as we hit the end of May. Take a look at the Eastern Conference standings. Neither side where they want to be. The top 8 will make the postseason for Rhode Island. A win puts them just 1 point out of 4th place. For Brooklyn, 2 wins could put them in 4th place. Still so much to be decided in this championship season. We welcome you in. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Espen. Neither side can be really content with where they're at in the standings. But, Ricky, I think we have an intriguing game. How does this play out?
Well, you have two teams with different styles. This Brooklyn side, they want to press you. They want to make you uncomfortable. They want to be vertical, while Rhode Island wants to slow the game down, maybe dictate tempo. So the ability to impose your identity will give you the opportunity to pick up the points. The first 10 to 15 minutes, really important in this match.
For Rhode Island FC, it's kind of a good news, bad news situation. Good news is they've been here before. The bad news is they find themselves in a hole again. They've gone to the Eastern Conference Final each of their first 2 seasons in the league. They went all the way to the championship final in 24, fell on the road against Colorado Springs. So the early start, a bit of a struggle, but not out of character.
Arno Smith was very open and honest, saying that results aren't an indication of performance. And he's actually been really pleased with the performances from this side in 2026. But it's those fine margins that need to clean up in both boxes. You do that, one thing for sure for Rhode Island, they have an ability to push over the line.
And we know that J.J. Williams can push it over the line, too.
J.J. Williams, he's big, he's physical. But where we've seen the most growth from his is the ability to hold up the play and be a poacher in around that 18-yard box. When you pop the ball into his feet, he has the ability to occupy the center backs and bring in his teammates. Service into J.J. Williams, especially here at home, going to be really important for the success of Rhode Island.
5 goals this year, and yes, that improvement on the defensive end. One of the most fearsome strikers in the championship, trying to help Rhode Island push their way up the standings tonight. Against a Brooklyn team in their expansion season, Marlon LeBlanc brought along some young talent he was really familiar with in Philly with the U.S. Youth National Team. Anderson and Olney have lived up to the billing.
Marcus Anderson, he's more of a player that's going to run at you. He's going to want to be vertical, want to stretch the game, and when he does get in front of goal, he's composed and he's ruthless, while CJ Olney is a player that likes to play on the width to go 1v1 and can provide real quality service. One thing that is for certain, these two players need to do a good job on the road if they want to steal the points.
This is sort of a new twist on an old rivalry. New England and New York, Rhode Island and Brooklyn matching up in this championship affair. We're reaching the end of May, a third of the way through the championship season. Is this the inflection point? Rhode Island and Brooklyn, next on CBS Sports Network. USL Championship on CBS Sports Network, presented by Best Western, Centerville Bank Stadium. It's third year in operation, third year for Rhode Island. They welcome Brooklyn, expansion team, for the first time. First of three meetings this year. Ricky Lopez Espen alongside Mike Watts. Here is Rhode Island's starting lineup under third-year manager Cano Smith.
The front four is going to be really influential. Shapiro Thompson's going to have the freedom to go and search the game. If he can get involved early and often, that allows Quizera to provide the width to go 1v1. Alfonso's going to run directly at this back line and put pressure on Brooklyn FC and their defensive unit for Marlon LeBlanc. It all comes down to how compact can they be defensively. They've conceded 14 times already in 2026, so on the road in a very difficult environment to play in, keeping the game in front of you going to be the foundation. Then you can go out and attack and be on the front foot.
And for several players within the Brooklyn lineup, a chance to make a statement against their former club, whereas for players like Tommy McNamara, continuing to try and help this expansion franchise along. The long in the tooth 35-year-old veteran gets the first kick of this match. Brooklyn away to Rhode Island as we hit the 1/3 point for these sides in the championship season. Azil pushes it forward. Smashed away by Gio. Joshua Encarnacion, the referee here tonight. Rhode Island, each of the last two Eastern Conference finals, won the Eastern Conference trophy in 24, their expansion season. 2025 fell in the conference final to Pittsburgh, who went on to defeat Tulsa in penalties to win the championship. Sanchez. Stojanovic upfield. Taking off Van Kayacil. Holstead couldn't quite find it, but it bounces kindly to Leo Alfonso. Left it short. Picked up by Pinto and up by Latinovic. McLaughlin comes out of the Irish First Division. You know, when you talk with Marlon LeBlanc about what his vision was, and you see his comments in recent weeks, that you can tell aggressive on and off the ball. This Brooklyn team is starting to show signs of that, but it is a very unforgiving league for a new team.
Yeah, this USL Championship is so ruthless, and the fine margins make a massive difference. The most important thing for Brooklyn is that they're laying a foundation, like you mentioned, Mike, and there's glimpses of how good they can be, but aside that is searching for consistency within their performances, but also their results. A big opportunity here against a very good Rhode Island side.
Sanchez. So many good years in Sacramento. Second year with Rhode Island. McLaughlin will allow it out.
And as Brooklyn starts in this three-back system, the wing-backs are going to have a lot of responsibility in terms of their positioning, because the way that Rhode Island likes to attack with Alfonso and Quizera, they want to provide the width, but they also want to be vertical. So understanding that if one goes, the other one needs to provide coverage and continue to have that back line of 4 or 5 to deny transitional moments.
Holstead. Gio, former first overall pick in the MLS draft. Sanchez. Marlon LeBlanc taking over this Brooklyn side after time with Union 2 in MLS Next Pro, and actually all the way back to their time in the championship as Bethlehem Steel. And the U.S. Youth National Team, and it's from those Philadelphia and U.S. National Team connections that about a third of this roster came together.
You also mentioned the characteristics, right? They want to be aggressive. Exactly what Philadelphia Union wants to implement within their style of play. Press high, make teams really uncomfortable, and be very direct.
Guys like Anderson, like Olney in the starting 11, young players that he helped really spur their career along. Rock spins this out the far side. Scardina getting the call at outside back tonight. His third start. Bacharach. Quizera, the Rwandan international, has really come into his own. Soars across the face, header snapped down. Cleared away. An injury back behind the play. The referee rushing back to check on McLaughlin.
JJ Williams, always the intended target when you lift this ball into the air, because he's just such an aerial threat. Does a really good job at reading the flight, and when he snaps down, catches McLaughlin here. We just talked about the positioning of the wing backs. Really well done by the Brooklyn player to drop back and make life difficult for JJ Williams.
Williams, one of the elite strikers in the championship. And you know, as we spoke with Conno Smith about his development over his time, he had him with him in Birmingham as an assistant, then to Tommy Sohn. JJ Williams put up goals on goals, comes to Rhode Island. He's dealt with some injuries over the last couple of years. Everyone knew how good he was in the air. Everyone knew he could score goals. It's everything else that's really taken the big step.
The defensive work, understanding that if you make the life of the center back that you're playing against a nightmare and force turnovers, then that plays into their hands because you're already higher up the field. You're in better positions to finish off plays, but also the ability to link the game is where we've also seen a really big improvement of JJ Williams. You pop the ball into him, he'll hold up the defender and allow the teammates underneath him to come up and support him.
McLaughlin back up, that's good news. That is not a player you want to compete with in the air all too often, JJ Williams. McLaughlin rode the carousel of English and ultimately UK teams. From Northern Ireland, is featured with their national team previously. Landed at Liverpool's academy for a couple years. They actually put him through UEFA B coaching licensing as well during that period. Most recently at St. Pat's in Ireland. He was scored in UEFA Conference League, if it gives you any idea of the standard he's played. He scored against Besiktas, one of the big Turkish clubs in that event. Bacharach trying to get creative with it. Good to see McLaughlin has re-entered the field. So that's a dangerous pass to Bacharach, clever ahead to McNamara. Sprinting down the line to just try and keep this in, although it did escape the line.
With how transitional and how vertical this Brooklyn side wants to be, you need to be really clean on the ball if you are Rhode Island. The last thing that you want is a square ball to be picked off, going back the other way with CJ Oni, Marcus Anderson, Conte, and Stojanovic. Those 4 players are really good. They can make you pay with any sort of clips that goal.
Griffey Yao. Holstead. McNamara behind him. To Jojea Quizera. First from Scardina. Yao. This This will leak all the way through, and the former goalkeeper for Rhode Island, Jackson Lee, comes out to grab it. It has been a rotation, constant rotation of goalkeepers here at the outset of the season for Brooklyn, unfortunately. Lucas Burns, who trained with Rhode Island when he was still at Providence, is a collegiate player. The reserve goalkeeper tonight started their last league game. Jackson Lee, his 5th start in 10 games now for the club, has allowed 5 goals. 18 starts in his Rhode Island run, won 4 of them. As a striker, Ricky, did you ever think going up against a goalkeeper that you saw in training for a number of years, that ever affect your thinking or how you went about your business? Or yeah,
little details, right? If you see a goalkeeper that is maybe not the best with their feet, you press them a little higher, you press them a little bit tighter. If they're not good with coming off of their line, maybe lofted balls to the back post is something that you do. But understanding that at this level, every single goalkeeper is good. Every single goalkeeper has the ability to make big-time stops. So those little minute details to give you that little bit of an advantage is something that you always have in the back of your mind.
Well, Coque Vegas has been the starter for Rhode Island from the day one. It means Jackson Lee and Lucas Burns were probably the ones who went up against more post-practice free kicks and penalties than anybody. Now they're on the other side, so something for Rhode Island to think about. Up toward Holstead, unable to lasso it, so it's kept by McNamara. Snapped away by Yao. Still Brooklyn, though. Into the penalty area, chested down, slithers away, and out.
That is a really good ball in from Stojanovic. As this ball gets whipped in, falls to the center back, Latinovic, and he can just help it on. You put pressure on Coque Vegas and Rhode Island's back line.
I'll let Williams run onto that. Jackson Lee gives a little look.
Those are situations that if you are this Brooklyn back line and that front line does go to initiate the line of pressure, you need to stay compact within your shape. The last thing that you want to have happen is, number one, this games get expanded, space open up centrally for players like Shapiro, Thompson, Holstead to really pick apart, but also just the direct ball from JJ Williams can hurt you.
All laced across and dealt with. Marcus Anderson offering. Coque Vegas wise to it.
Good decision here.
Squared over. And going for goal, Afonso. Ricochets back out to Guizera, sent the initial service. Lofted ball, fell to Afonso. Lofted by Shapiro. Thompson, the header, saved at the line and held out by Lee. Towering header from J.J. Williams.
The leap from J.J. Williams, incredible. The ability to keep himself in the air and almost nearly jump over Alves. Really well done in terms of heading it down as well to generate power. Good save from Lee, but the hops from J.J. Williams, really impressive there.
Clean challenge on McLaughlin. All the way back to Lee. Lee from Perth in Australia. That is a heavy touch, something that Williams read well, and it came up to Quizera. Lee's going to have to try again to launch this. Finally, he has.
Little things as a striker, understanding maybe the goalkeeper isn't up to game tempo, not as sharp as they would hope to be. So every single time this ball gets popped into the back of Lee, you press him, you make him uncomfortable, and you really test the shape here.
Conte. Touched on to Anderson. Whittles out of harm's way. Pinto. Vegas.
Struggling, Brooklyn, to find anything going forward, especially centrally. So Jovanovic, Conte need to support Marcus Anderson. Really quiet first 15 minutes for the striker for Brooklyn. Only 7 touches. You need to get him a little bit more influential if you are Marlon LeBlanc, especially high up the field to pin these 2 center backs back of Rhode Island.
Pretty wild moment a second ago, but the clearance that Cano Smith ultimately was able to take down is pretty impressive too. There's sort of the nervous moment out of the back from Lee, and then Cano comes over and, oh, I got it. He still got it, dude.
That's a pillow touch. That is impressive. Even in the Jays, he's wearing nice Jordans tonight too.
Played the U.S. for New England Revolution and Red Bulls in New York. Former captain for Bermuda, Lee. Nods that away.
Tell you what, Mike, if I'm wearing Jordans, that ball comes to me, I'm not putting my foot down. I'm not getting my shoes dirty whatsoever. Props to Cano there.
Does it make a difference on turf?
No, but still, you don't want to
scuff
risk.
them?
Yeah, you don't want to scuff them.
All right.
I'm a big,
I know you are.
clean person guy.
Yeah, I'm not. But I don't have that touch.
I saw your TST video years back.
Yeah, years back. It's gotten worse. Scardina came up off his torso. Conte and Scardina were really getting after it. Anderson as well. Squared over by Olney, and he got cleaned out. Back comes with the yellow card to Bacharach.
A really aggressive challenge here for the midfielder, Bacharach, to come through. And notice his shoulder drops and catches CJ Olney on the follow through. Knows exactly what he's doing here. The ball's gone really late and deserving of a yellow card. Right call from Joshua Encarnacion here.
A center back by trade. He is a towering 6'4" from Spain. Came over to the States at Fairleigh Dickinson, was the NEC Defender of the Year, moved up to Indiana. All he was an all Big Ten selection for the Hoosiers. One of the great programs of college soccer. And at Minnesota for a year. I felt the last 10, 12 games last year, he was one of the 3 to 5 best players on this Rhode Island squad. Ball whipped toward Williams to deal with it. Marcus Anderson continued through the double team in the corner. See what Alves can put together here. National champion at Marshall. Birmingham 2023. Followed Cano Smith to Rhode Island in 24. And this will be a throw to Rhode Island. Hey, coming up next, more pitch play. Club America and the Washington Spirit square off in the CONCACAF W Champions Cup final. It's right here on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus. Boston Legacy called this their home venue for the first of 7 games that they're scheduled to play in Pawtucket this year. Last night, fell 2-1 to Seattle Reign. I've gained quite the fondness for the city of Pawtucket, and really Providence, about 4 miles away. We were here with CBS last year for a nationally televised game, El Clamico.
You were there last night.
I was there last night. It was a good time. Oh, narrow intervention by Gio.
Good bit of play from Brooklyn here, especially with the tactical formation that Marlon LeBlanc has deployed. If you can connect centrally and play quickly, you're going to have a lot of numbers that you can play off of. As Pinto continues his run, Van Keziel pushes high up the field, and he gives you that flexibility. A player that is played centrally, now starting in one of the center backs out of the 3.
Way downfield, how about Lee? And way out of his penalty area and taking a bit of territory with that. Galloping run forward. Never reached Anderson, who was front running. But a chance for Conte to attack from the width. Leaves it high, McNamara. Pinto. McNamara. Ricochets free to Shapiro Thompson, out to Williams. Williams leaves everybody in the dust and plays a dynamite diagonal. It is Afonso! That deflects toward the net and cleared away by Lee. Jackson Lee turns away the deflection off of Quizera.
Just so impressive here from J.J. Williams, and this is exactly what we've talked about, the ability to hold up the play and allow his teammate to support him. Alfonso going 1v1, fantastic stuff. The strike isn't the best, but just a reaction from Lee. Gets caught out of position initially, but the recovery here, so good from the goalkeeper to keep this thing 0-0. Phenomenal stuff.
Throw into the area for Rhode Island. Backs that header off the underside of the bar. Cleared away. Williams still. Lee has it. Absolute chaos in the goal mouth. And Lee retains.
The ability to anticipate from J.J. Williams, number 9, bottom of your screen. Notice right on top of that 6-yard box. Just hoping for this ball to fall to him, and then just chaos. And again, reactionary from Jackson Lee. Does not know much about it, but puts his body on the line and secures this ball. Another phenomenal play from the goalkeeper.
Oh. Mentioned Lee with Rhode Island. He actually played at George Mason. I asked him, it felt kind of random from Perth, Australia to Fairfax, Virginia. He said it's actually an agency back home that got in touch. The contacts in the college space will bring Australians across the U.S. collegiate system. He called it a great platform to play right away. He said not often you see a freshman goalkeeper starting. That led him to West Virginia. It was a good starting point. And from that into the pro game, he was acquired in the MLS Super Draft by LAFC, and they said, well, we think preseason would be great for you, and he's looking around and has a shot at the roster, and then they signed Hugo Lloris. And he's starting to sort of put the numbers together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, those back-to-back saves, first his positioning, the ability to stay centrally, be light on his feet, to react quick. That's something that is not taught. That is just felt Really well done from Jackson Lean, back-to-back plays there.
Maybe Lee pulling ahead in the larger goalkeeping competition. It's an interesting one. You've got a youth national team player, Rizvanovic, at the young end of his career. You've got a guy that's not gotten a ton of time like Lucas Burns, a year out of college, and then you've got Lee, who's been a spot starter for Rhode Island when Koke Vegas was injured and actually held the shirt for a while once Vegas got healthy last year. But no one who's a guaranteed out-and-out #1, proven it year in and year out guy, but three guys with a lot of talent that have shown the ability that they can be.
It's one of the hardest things as a manager, right? You want to be able to reward players for their performances, but also opportunity has to be given. Players' growth is something that comes into mind, especially with the background of Marlon LeBlanc. There's just so much things that you need to balance, but at the same time, keeping everyone engaged is something as well that a lot of people, fans, and players don't even realize that fall on the shoulders of a coach.
And especially at the goalkeeping position, once you have the guy, it's a seismic shift to make a lineup change. Once you've really given a run of games to one player. So the rest of the lineup has been loosey-goosey a little bit. But if one player drops out, you go, well, that's just the way the game went. They've used all three goalkeepers extensively at the outset. Maybe Lee's pulling away and doing so against his former club. It's a painful challenge in midfield, one that sees Anderson up first.
And again, Yao steps off of his line aggressively. He's late, loses his footing. No real ill will. When he does step in, just gets caught in the turf, takes out Marcus Anderson. Another opportunity for CJ Only and this Brooklyn side to put pressure on Rhode Island in this back line.
Only 19 years old, spent a couple months on loan in Lexington last year from the Philadelphia organization. He's been a consistent starter from the day one. Only delivers. Vegas collects. Rhode Island starting to find their form. They've evaded a problem that's followed them the last couple of weeks. Conceding early in games. They've gotten nearly to half an hour. And as they've felt in a number of games that they've played this year, they have had the run of the game thus far, and of course the best chances in front of goal a few minutes ago.
And through 28 minutes here, definitely the better of the two teams in terms of threatening the opponent's goal.
You can look at their last league game against Tampa Bay, top of the standings, 1-1 draw. They felt disappointed, felt like they pushed the game for long periods. And their last game in the Prince Tires USL Cup against Portland Hearts of Pine, they get cup set, but all they did was have a 25-6 shot differential. But they concede in the first couple minutes, and you pay a price the entirety of the game for it.
And it's something that we've seen from Rhode Island specifically in that game, Mike, is the ability to be flexible within their formation. Obviously tonight starting in a 4-back, that's what they did in Portland as well. But quickly, when things aren't going right, this team has the talent, they have the personnel to shift into a 3-back, which gives you a different look defensively, allows you to be a little bit more expansive, get players high up the field, 2 strikers on the field. So this side does have different looks in their locker for Connor Smith.
To feed that diagonal on to Afonso that was so successful from Williams previous. Surfing over the top of a sliding McLaughlin.
Good positioning there from McLaughlin. Have to split the difference between providing coverage to your center back, but also coming out and meeting Afonso. The challenge. Holstead
trying to artificially gain an extra few inches. from those ad boards. Holstead, that header away over Sanchez. He's trying to switch the point. There's going to be a yellow card back behind the play because J.J. Williams made contact with a player at the top of the 18, and Williams having a few extra words after the fact. Got Stojanovic. Take a look at the top right corner of your screen here. So Williams starts running out toward the top of the penalty area. There he is at the top of the box.
Has been issued to Rhode Island FC number 9, J.J. Williams in the 30th.
A little bit of frustration there from J.J. Away from the ball. Clear intent to go at Stojanovic. Gets into the bulk of Joshua Encarnacion.
Frustration after he gets tackled. He's the one who picked up that first yellow card of the game about 10 minutes ago.
But just the ground coverage there, really impressive from Bacharach. Stojanovic finds a nice little pocket of space, but the ability to be quick and deny anything going forward for Brooklyn. Well done by the center midfielder.
We were talking to Cano Smith. He goes, you know, I've got a lot of sort of good depth problems right now, not the least of which he feels he's got too many starting caliber center backs, and so Bacharach has moved into that holding midfield role. It's left Franck Nadarce on the bench tonight, another guy who's been all league.
Bacharach gives you obviously the size factor, soft feet, ability to read the game, and again, he's one of those players that enables you to go to 3 in the back.
Threading through Leo Alfonso in the last couple of years at Inter Miami and Atlanta United. Yao. McNamara offering the pressure. Brooklyn does rate very highly in the extent of their pressure and counter pressure. Rhode Island's played through it though. Bacharach holding off. Bacharach tried to slip it through. Anderson squares. Conte overtaken from behind.
Really good stuff again from Rhode Island. The counter press with how aggressive Yao and Giop have been within their positioning, squeezing the game, keeping it in that final third. But also the work rate there from Shapiro Thompson just to pick the pocket of Conte.
Alves find that in midfield. Brown didn't offer much help there for really any of the Brooklyn players. Conte offers into the width, only dispossessed by Scardina. Alves backstops. Here's Tommy Mack. McNamara outside toward Conte. You get the cross through, appeal for a handball, play on. There's no VAR in the championship to have another look. Service into the box once more, Vegas.
Great ball.
Oh, slipped through. Need to see the Shield run cover it, and it's offside anyway. Let's go back to that potential handball. We can look at it again, even if the refs can't.
As Conte comes around the corner, watch the right arm of Yao. Would have been really harsh to point to 12 yards out, because I do believe that is in a natural position there for Yao. He's not making himself bigger. Okay with the no call there.
His arm is folding back behind, right? Some nuance to that in terms of deflections, and I mean, the number of coaches and players who tell me now I don't know what a handball is.
We're starting to see Brooklyn find a little bit of a rhythm here. Good feet from McNamara, but this area of the field right off the shoulder of Holstead and Bacharach, able to get on the half turn and now go out the other way with the wing back.
Laughlin, take that space now. By the way, there was a handball in that exact spot on the field in the NWSL game played here last night.
That was called.
That was called, and after VAR review was deemed correct. Broke a 510-minute scoreless streak for Seattle. By hook or by crook. Or Harvey's side off to Schneid, and they got the win too. Service from the edge of the penalty area, met by Yao.
Connell Smith needs to figure out a little bit of the balance between Holstead and Bacharach, because right now both players are getting caught too high, but also both players are getting sucked to one side of the field. And that is why you're starting to see Stojanovic pop into that half pocket of space. We're seeing CJ Olney becoming a little bit more centrally. So it's a good kind of finding of the solutions for Brooklyn at just popping off that back line and playing in between the defensive set of Rhode Island.
It's Karifa Yao. 10 minutes to halftime. Each team on 2 wins this year. Win for Rhode Island, and they're a point off 4th place. That's how tight it is right now. For Brooklyn, they're 6 points out of that position. A win here would go a long way, especially when you consider they've got Jacksonville next, the team beneath them in the Eastern Conference standings. Still haven't gotten up off the mat within championship play. Still seeing that first league win. Williams, the return. Toward goal. Wide from Shapiro Thompson.
Good aggressive movement here from Shapiro Thompson to read the knockdown. And the first time ball back from JJ Williams, really well done, but this needs to be a shot with your right foot. Take the first touch out of your body. Notice how his balance is all off, the angle's all off, reaching behind him and just ropes this ball wide. But good movement as a true number 10 for Rhode Island.
It's kind of funny. I'm not saying you missed a ton of shots in your career, but like from this angle, that looks far off. That was a really good angle which Shapiro Thompson saw, and you just see it just sort of swings wide. He didn't miss that by nearly as much as it appears on first glance.
But it also tells you just how spot on you need to be with everything to put it on target, right? Your technique, your balance, your supporting foot, when you approach the ball, how you approach the ball. That's why scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in this sport.
And that's why Ricky made the big bucks.
Oh, stop. That's why I'm next to you right now.
I mean, I don't have suicide doors on my ramp. Holstead.
Notice the space here. Shapiro Thompson on the ball right now.
And there he is. Him and Shapiro Thompson crashes in midfield with Latinovic. Knocked outside. Quizera will attack. And Quizera will run out of room.
You need more out of this action if you are Rhode Island. Shapiro Thompson picks up the ball with acres of space. If he's a little bit cleaner within his ability to run with the ball, you do not pull out Latinovic. And notice the amount of numbers getting back now for Brooklyn. 6 defensive players shielding their 18-yard box, making life difficult for Quizera. Good recovery, but those are the areas when you're playing against a team that wants to press you that you need to take advantage of for Rhode Island.
And Rhode Island after it again, over to Quizera. Quizera! That ball had eyes for the back post. Jose Quizera opens the scoring for Rhode Island.
The body position of Pinto all wrong. JJ Williams doing the dirty work, but notice the first touch here from Quezera. As he gets it out of his body, what does that do? That baits Venke Zeal to step in, and as he lunges in, that opens up in between his legs. This ball is always going to be pulled back across the body from Quezera because this is shielding Jackson Lee. He cannot see it, the goalkeeper can. Low and hard to that far post. Phenomenal strike from Quezera, but this goal is created from the work of JJ Williams turning your defense into offense.
Quezera playing in a more natural position in that he features that high wide position with Rwanda. That's helped, but honestly, a more mature Jojea Quezera this season, according to his manager. Professionally, he said as a man off the field too, really taking ownership of his development. He's opened the scoring. You look at all comps, inclusive of Prinks Cup and Open Cup. Rhode Island has fared very well when they have managed to grab that first goal. Meanwhile, for Brooklyn, can they, for the first time in their history, come from behind to collect at least a point? Can they respond instantaneously? It's not yet. Did Vegas keep that in? Clearly he didn't. And the corner to Brooklyn. Brooklyn hasn't won on the road yet. They haven't come from behind to take a point yet. They won their opener back at the beginning of March against Indy 11. And then have 4 losses the remainder of that month. They have a 3-0 blip, a win over Charleston, a shocker. And only 2 wins on the year. Vegas to get the punch away. Collected by Anderson, team's leading scorer on 4 goals, offers the service. Anderson holding off Sanchez, wins a corner. That gives the fans a reason to get up off their feet. Seeding early those past 3 games. They get the opener here tonight. Really from the day one, they've had a tremendous, not only the venue helps, but the way they've finished seasons, competed for trophies. First-class stuff. Trying to expand the tight confines just a hair yet again. The only to send this. Williams a ball magnet on those set pieces. Stojanovic, one fist, and then line back toward frame and deflects wide. That's that doesn't reach Vegas in the end. It's Karifa Yao who chips it away. Another corner.
Nice spell of pressure here for Brooklyn. Good ball in from Stojanovic, and Koke Vegas has done a good job when stepping off of his line. But we've seen it through the career of Tommy McNamara, the ability to rope a ball from distance. And just notice the amount of traffic right in front of Koke Vegas here, trying to shield the goalkeeper for Brooklyn.
I don't think Tommy McNamara has a cheap goal in his career.
No, he does not.
No, all bangers. There's Williams again. You know, I covered New York City FC that first year in MLS, and goodness gracious, every goal he scored made him more and more of a fan favorite for that club.
Just seemed like every single time he got the ball from about 35 yards out, he's pulling up and in top corner every single time.
Played down the road at Brown and then finished his collegiate career at Clemson, so it's a return of sorts to this area for the West Nyack, New York native. Brown just had their graduation this weekend. Fluttering and down to ground. It's a free kick to Rhode Island. Run by Sanchez.
Sanchez really clever in his position. Notice how many times he peeked over his shoulder. Last second just slides across. McLaughlin feels the contact, goes down, forces a foul to be called. Clever from the outside back of Rhode Island.
Sanchez was actually an open trialist at Sacramento back in 2022. They brought in Damia Villader from Union Omaha, felt that he would hold that position down. He picks up an injury, and Sanchez, it felt like, never left the field after that. Into stoppage time, 3 additional minutes.
Has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Bacharach. Zara angling toward a Holstead. Sanchez muscled off by Stojanovic. It's a 40-yard pipe dream.
Heard us talking about McNamara up here from distance. Hits it well, the center back. Seems to catch Clay Holstead on the as it's coming through.
Chilp's got some goals in his career. Halftime will get you caught up on what's going on around the championship on this Saturday. Turned over to Rhode Island again. A couple times this has been a real worrisome issue for Brooklyn. Williams couldn't clear any space. Sanchez offering, knocked away by Lee. And a corner garnered by Rhode Island.
It's time for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro
Corner coming. Rhode Island playing about half an hour away from Foxborough, which will be a World Cup host this summer. One of a number of teams in the USL ecosystem in this New England region that's popped out of the ground over the last few years and built up quite an impressive infrastructure. Got a goal here already, looking for another before halftime. Lee was shielded off, but did get something on it. Sanchez is not happy about it. He's going to be really lucky now to get away with just a talking to after he pushed that ball away. You can understand his frustration, but he also kicks out a bit. He felt he was fouled in the first place.
And again, Jackson Lee with Scardina backing into him, does a good job. It is a foul on Anderson. Anderson pulls him down. Right, what you're talking about right here. Watch the right leg, the last second.
And by that point, the whistle's already blown, so there's that part of it, and then he touches the ball away. And is he fully kicking the ball away? Would it be kind of a harsh yellow, given, you know, you should have some flexibility to be frustrated when a call doesn't go your way? Sure, but see more given for less. Van Kayazil. First clearance. J.J. Williams brings it down. He's got that Kano touch. And we've reached halftime. Rhode Island does get that early goal. It's by virtue of Jojea Guizara. And Brooklyn trailing again. 39th minute, fourth of the year for Quizera.
If you are Marlon LeBlanc, you need to figure something out going forward. You need a pocket presence because Anderson really quiet, only 17 touches for the leading goal scorer. If you need to get him influential, the supply into him and the pressure needs to be a little bit more aggressive for Brooklyn if they have any hopes of clawing themselves back into this game.
Coming up, a look around the championship on this loaded Saturday slate. Then we'll take a look at the first half highlights. Brooklyn going on the road. A flurry of chances for Rhode Island. They do cash in through Quizera. 1-0 at halftime. The USL on CBS presented by Best Western. The USL on CBS Sports presented by Best Western. It's halftime in Pawtucket. Rhode Island 1, Brooklyn 0 at the break. Come back into the booth, everybody. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Espen. It has been about a third of the season played at this point, halfway through the Brinks Cup group stage as well. So we've gotten a chance to see a little bit of everybody. It feels like it's wide open right now, doesn't it?
The parity, it makes this season really exciting because you don't know who's going to play who's going to win, who's going to pick up the points. And that's something that's exciting for neutral, exciting for you and I doing our prep. And there's no difference here this week. You're looking at some really interesting results. Tampa Bay Rowdies, Dominic Casciato have done everything right. 3-0 above Phoenix Rising, and Miami FC 2-1 above Louisville City in the second half. Yeah, Louisville on the road here tonight. Loudoun coming off their first win against Brooklyn a couple weeks ago in league play. Get a draw against Detroit. And then Indy 11 and Lexington both in the middle of the pack.
on level terms at present. Here's what's coming up later tonight. San Antonio, Sacramento is a fun one. New Mexico and Charleston is a fun one for sure. Even Orange County, Oakland, Las Vegas, and Colorado Springs has juice to it.
I mean, you just look at every single one of these teams, and there's something a little bit different. Oakland Roots look better under Ryan Martin. Orange County at home, Danny Stone doing a really good job. New Mexico dropped points midweek against Tampa Bay Rowdies at the Lab. Can Ben Pierman go into it and upset them again? Las Vegas Lights and Devin Rensing need 3 points to get going, but they're welcoming a Colorado Springs switchback side that's really good.
So fun games around the championship tonight. We're glad you chose this one here on CBS Sports Network. Rhode Island has the lead on Brooklyn. Could it be the inflection point they've been waiting for? First half highlights, the Quizera goal when we come back. It's halftime here on CBS Sports Network. The Rhode Island Firefighters Professional Pipes and Drums serenading the crowd. Rhode Island 1, Brooklyn nothing at halftime. Come back into the booth, everybody. Mike Watson, Ricky Lopez-Espin. Ricky, thoughts on that first half?
Incredible. I mean, the first half was everything we wanted and a little bit more for Rhode Island. They did a really good job at turning their defense into offense. JJ Williams was the catalyst of everything, and he's the pinpoint player that really is the difference here. But you look at Rhode Island, what they were able to do with Alfonso. You change your point of attack through JJ Williams. Alfonso going 1v1, and how this ball does not end up in the back of the net is beyond me. Jackson Lee, back-to-back plays. This is the first one really well done in terms of his recovery.
So Alfonso gets that brilliant ball from Williams. Unfortunately for Rhode Island, not across the line. Lee coming up big. Skip ahead a couple minutes further, and the long throw leads to another chance for Rhode Island.
The anticipation of JJ Williams to try to get on the end of this ball. Really good header. But how's it, again, Jackson Lee doing a phenomenal job, reactionary, brave to just jump on this ball and secure it.
And then in the 39th minute, the breakthrough, it's off a Brooklyn mistake.
JJ Williams picks a pocket of Pinto, but notice Quizera. His first touch here is everything. Sets him up for success, but more importantly, it draws in Van Kayziel and opens up in between the leg to come across the face of the goal. Jackson Lee can't see it. He's shielded off, and Rhode Island take the lead.
Fourth of the season for Quizera as Rhode Island really takes this game with both hands.
If you are Marlon LeBlanc, the next 10 to 15 minutes when coming out of the second half, really important. Understanding that if you can press, if you can squeeze the game and stay compact within your defensive set, you can find success and hopefully try to put pressure on Coque Vegas.
They'll try and put the pedal down against a Brooklyn side that's had an up and down start to their expansion season. Can they come from behind and grab points tonight? It's 1-0 at halftime. The travel map is brought to you by Best Western. JJ Williams.
JJ Williams has been so influential. Obviously 3 shots, 2 on target, but it's his work rate, the ability to stay high, occupy the center backs, which allows his teammates underneath him to supply them. And you just notice the ability to defend his goal right side of your screen, an aerial threat to defend that 6-yard box. He's been phenomenal all over the field for Rhode Island.
2 shots on target coming right in front of goal. He could very easily have a goal of his own. Instead, it's Quizera. Grabbed it in the 39th minute of play. Rhode Island, the goal ahead here. And if you look ahead here, Ricky, you go to Indy 11. The cup competition is, for most teams, when you're a couple dropped points in out of reach. But within this particular group, everyone's still alive. So they'll look ahead to a game against Westchester SC the first week of June. And with the way the cup schedule breaks out, you could still really afford to go for it.
It's an opportunity for another trophy for Connell Smith, understanding that results have fell in your favor, obviously after losing at Portland Hearts at Pine. So we know something that for Rhode Island, they want to fight for every trophy that they can, and it's an opportunity in the USL Cup as well as USL Championship.
So Rhode Island will try and see this out against a Brooklyn team
with 7 losses from the 7 previous instances in which they have conceded first. Lee, couple big saves along the way in the first half. And now we'll try and help them stay in the game against his former club. Neither side has made any changes at the break. Were you a smelling salt guy?
I was.
Yeah?
Yeah. Awesome.
Just saw JJ with it.
You've done it?
There is, Lloyd Sam is the only commentator I've ever met who used smelling salts before games. And he offered. I tried it.
Call a game.
Call a game, much less play in one. Now that's commitment.
That is commitment.
He has since stopped doing that.
I would hope so.
I can't explain why. He didn't need the energy. Anywho, on to the second half here, and J.J. Williams is certainly ready for it. Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket, 4 miles outside Providence. This a very early yellow card for the former Rhode Island player. Gabi Alves finds himself in the book.
Not the way that you want to start this second half for Brooklyn. Alves comes in, catches Shapiro Thompson. Been really good within his work rate, but you just see how late he is, Alves. A touch right there around the corner, and an opportunity for the home side to whip this ball in right on top of that 6-yard box, especially with the big boys that they have coming up.
Third yellow issued, first to a Brooklyn player. Williams and Bacharach are on yellows for Rhode Island entering the second half.
Yellow card presented by General Dynamics Electric Group, awarded to Brooklyn FC number 3, Gabriel Alves, in the 46th minute.
Looks like Amos Shapiro Thompson most likely for this. From Worthington, Massachusetts, it's about 110 miles away. Instead, it's Quizera. Giob. Drive by Sanchez, Bacharach. Covered by Brooklyn, didn't quite leak out. Scardina. Spin in his face, wins a free kick, even if it didn't hold the ball, Sanchez. Well, it's the same duo, but from the opposite side. Is Shapiro Thompson. First ball falls kindly, Scardina.
Just gets his balance a little bit off, Scardina. As this ball's popping out to you, you need to lean away from it to give you the ability to whip your leg as high as you can and swipe down on the ball. Notice how he just strikes underneath it, tries to come through it. Really difficult technique, but a golden opportunity to really put pressure again on Jackson Lee. And there's a little bit of a tactical adjustment here for Brooklyn, especially on this left-hand side of their attack. Conte's actually playing a little bit more centrally underneath Marcus Anderson, which gives CJ Only the freedom to push higher up the field. Almost as a pseudo number 10, Conte is. Number 95, center of your screen.
For a little space in that pocket, Nafonso shielding him off. There is Conte. Got it from Olney. It's a shuffle inside, kept by Holstead. Lines it off Conte, that's a throw. Mentioned Quizera is a Rwandan international. Big news around the championship. Starting to fester. The Guardian would say we already know what the U.S. roster looks like for the World Cup. I'm going to wait until Tuesday and save my thoughts. But number of players that have been around USL in the past look like they're headed to the World Cup out on the West Coast when it begins in now less than a month's time. But Haiti and Curacao both announced their rosters over the last 24 to 48 hours. A couple players at Miami FC getting the call up with Curacao. Eloy Rome, the goalkeeper for them. Acadia is going up as well. Haiti calling up Carl Saint and Duke Lacroix from El Paso and Colorado Springs, respectively. Active USL Championship players taking part in this expanded World Cup. Certainly a number of players who featured in the league in the past will be added onto that as well. Extraordinary accomplishment. Touch. That is the aforementioned Rwandan international. Did that run too far? It did. Quizera had the right idea.
Something that we're starting to find success with Rhode Island. Good read here from Ferdinand.
Plays it centrally. Quizera spins. Shapiro Thompson. Quizera pointing for this to get wide in the first place, tried to get it there himself. Free kick, Rhode Island.
Just been really sloppy for Brooklyn within their decision making, especially in their defensive third. Rock doing a good job, but notice a little bit of a push off from Marcus Anderson through the back. Throws him into Pinto. And another opportunity for Rhode Island. Seems like JJ Williams fancies his opportunity from this distance to really test Jackson Lee. Comfortable to go up and over the wall towards that near post or lift it towards this back post. A lot of options here for Rhode Island.
A lot of options in part because of how many players are still in contention to hit it. Be Quizera or Williams. It's Williams off the wall. It's Quizera taking the rebound and knocking that straight at Lee. Heel flick couldn't hold it for Rhode Island. Brooklyn trying to push ahead. Claughlin will throw. Yeah, think about the idea of it becoming late early in a season. You're about to enter June. 30-game championship regular season. Brooklyn is playing their 10th game tonight, so a third of the way. We're still talking about 2 wins gets you into the middle of the pack, so they haven't fallen that far off the pace. They probably looked at this 3-game run in the league. So Olney hits the service, dynamite ball, skims off the head of Anderson. A dynamic, youthful duo nearly coming to the fore.
The movement of Marcus Anderson right on top of that 18-yard box. Notice how he continues to play up the shoulder of Giop and Sanchez. Makes it a nightmare to defend because those defenders need to rely on communication. Just mistimes his jump because that is a really good ball in from CJ Olney. He knows how close and how good of an opportunity that was for Marcus Anderson.
Thompson couldn't win it, all the way back to Lee. Brooklyn gives Loudoun their first win. They get Rhode Island, who at this moment, as well as they feel they've performed, sit beneath the line. You get Jacksonville on the road next, a team that doesn't have a win in the league yet. And you're probably thinking, well, if we can scrape 6, 7, 9 points out of this run, hey, look at where we are. Well, if you don't get anything out of it, you go to Louisville and Indy back-to-back. You host Tampa Bay, who have arguably been the best team in the league. Then off a bye week in the league, you go to Pittsburgh, the reigning champion, on the 4th of July. And then you've got another bye with Prince Cup, and you go to Jacksonville in the middle of July. So you're sort of starting to look at some really important moments for Brooklyn if they're to get where they want to go by the end of the season. That's a good touch from Quizera, get around that first defender. Holstead aligns, offers, Afonso again, Lee! Got a hand to it, and it's cleared away from the line as it was skittering toward the back post.
Jackson Lee has been phenomenal for this Brooklyn side. Without him, could have very easily been 3-4-0 in favor of Rhode Island. He's made some big-time saves, some big-time moments. But Rhode Island's finding so much success when they break this initial line of pressure, and then the willingness of players to get high up the field. Notice the amount of space for Olstead, but I love his composure here. Picks up his head, sees this play develop. As J.J. Williams stays high, he occupies 2 players. Alfonso's going to want this one back. Initially, this ball should be slotted towards this near post. No need to try to come back across your body because the angle's not there. And another really good save from Jackson Lee.
Double sub for Brooklyn. That is J.C. Obregon, who comes in, the former League One Golden Boot winner. Peter Mangione has come in as well. Conte and Stojanovic off for Brooklyn. Ball across, Lee retreating, head back across the face. He's trying with so little ground left to cover to get to J.J. Williams. Not a bad idea from Afonso either. Here's Quizera. Rhode Island held it in. Williams tabled. Hard fall. Grabbing the bottom of his spine. He really landed hard. He's still down inside the penalty area. I'm surprised they haven't stopped play yet. Now, well, they have.
This gets so high, J.J. Williams. Salvez just awkwardly doesn't even try to attempt for this ball. JJ comes over the top of him. Kind of asking the 4th. There's no point to the spot. Again, don't really think there's an intent from Alves just to come and catch J.J. Williams underneath him.
He's still looking for that clarity. Williams is back up. 12 shots to 2. Another day in which Rhode Island has inundated their opposition. Trying to get the full 3 points for this effort. Pinto opens it up. Laughlin into McNamara.
Substitution for Brooklyn FC. Leaving the match is number 19, Stefan Stojanovic, and number 95, Abdoulaye Conte. Entering the match, number 29, Juan Carlos Obregon, and number 27, Peter Mangione. In the 57th minute.
With the subs of Marlon LeBlanc, it's going to change the way that Brooklyn look going forward. Anderson's going to drop off and play a line deeper. Obregon Jr. is going to stay high. He's going to be almost of a hybrid in terms of he can run in behind, he can slash and stretch the game, but also very comfortable with the ball at his feet. So expect the movement to come from Mangione underneath the number 9 of Obregon Jr. So if you are the 2 center midfielders for Rhode Island, Holstead and Bacharach, you need to have communication at passing players off, because the last thing that you can have happen is a runner out of midfield unmarked, getting it behind your high back line.
Pinto. Shapiro Thompson, that leading touch, long run for Latinovic. Alfonso is running out of room.
Just the final action hasn't been there for Alfonso. Doing a good job at finding nice areas that he can operate in. But that ball needs to be in front of J.J. Williams, allowing him to run onto it.
Although, Ricky, I want to go back. I sort of outlined Brooklyn's upcoming schedule, how this was considered probably the soft spot and how difficult it gets. They can't look at Rhode Island in their first year back in 2024 and say they were on 9 points through 9 games. Brooklyn, by comparison, is on 7. So similar-esque starts. It wasn't until game 14, it was 34-game season instead of 30 that it is now back then, that they started their winning run. They ended up winning 11 of their last 20 league games, 11, 3, and 6. And then went on to the championship final, which they fell 3-0 away at Colorado Springs. So it just took one game to start turning it around. And to a man, everyone on Rhode Island was saying it was that Louisville game on the road, middle of summer, I think it was the end of June, said turn the whole season around. Brooklyn still looking for that moment, but it's not totally out of reach yet. But if you fail to take anything tonight, and then again against Jacksonville at home next weekend, all of a sudden you're probably going to need one of those, we beat Louisville or we beat Tampa Bay, and that gave us the belief. That's a big ask.
At the very least, you're looking at Marlon LeBlanc in this game to grow some momentum, to have some belief that you can go into Louisville, you can go into Tampa Bay, and really put up a fight, because you look at the games on the road, Brooklyn hasn't even picked up a draw when they play away from home. So for Marlon LeBlanc, the ability to grind out results and pick up something when you're not playing your best, his ability to grow, to show that you are trending in the right directions. But you haven't really put pressure on Goalkeeping Vegas. You haven't really tested this back line of Rhode Island. It's been really comfortable for Connell Smith defensively throughout the 60 minutes that we've played here.
If you get a point tonight, it's your first road point and your first come from behind point of the season. So with half an hour to play, still much to be decided. Brooklyn can carry a lot of momentum out of this game if they could take something. For Rhode Island, they could move right into that enormous logjam of teams right in the middle of the Eastern Conference. Despite some hard luck losses along the way, they'd be more or less exactly where they want to be.
And these are the games that if you are Connell Smith, you're looking at the performance, again, by far the better side. You've been more threatening of the opposition goal, but you have to close the door. You have to be ruthless. In your next opportunity, this ball needs to hit the back of the net, because a continuation.
Pinto plays it ahead, outside from Obregon. Service leaks out to Olney. Olney off the post and in! How in the world did Olney score that? An answered prayer for Olney in Brooklyn. Their level inside half an hour to play in Pawtucket.
Life for the visiting side. Exactly what Marlon LeBlanc needed. And as this ball pops out, Olney just trying to lift it into this back post area. But he'll take it. Marlon LeBlanc, Brooklyn FC, somehow find the back of the net from CJ Olney. Goalkeeping Vegas all caught off of his line. And they all count the same, 1-1 here in the 63rd minute.
What a weird goal that was. Not that Brooklyn cares at all.
Those are the ones that, when you watch film throughout the week, you say, I meant that. I saw the goalkeeper off of his line.
Oh, that wasn't
intentional.
That wasn't like some spectacular celebration. You saw her fist pumped like, yeah, I got him. Olney digs it in off the post. And Brooklyn changing the entire scope of the conversation in a matter of seconds. They've been on their heels. You start to look at the grander scheme, and it's easy to get to the doom and gloom of what this could mean. And then that one singular opportunity, half a chance at best.
I was just mentioning, Mike, for Rhode Island, the amount of opportunities that you've had, the amount of pressure that you put on Jackson Lee, and yes, he's made some phenomenal saves, but that instills more confidence and more hope in Brooklyn, saying it's one play that we need to get ourselves back into this game. And they had that play 1-1. Next 10 minutes, in terms of the momentum, going to be extremely intriguing for both of these sides.
Held up by Afonso. Sanchez takes that space. It's back to Holstead. Bacharach. Williams. And a whittle free, slips ahead. Afonso offers the service, chipped across. Guizera. Lee, the follow, deflects, somehow didn't get over the line. Brooklyn escape.
But again, Jackson Lee, unbelievable. Notice how quickly he steps off of his line to get a hand on Bacharach to deny and push it off of his near post. Incredible from the goalkeeper yet again.
There's always something special going back to a place that maybe gave you a chance, but you weren't the guy. This bouncing through, snagged by Lee. 18 starts for Rhode Island. It's not that he didn't get opportunity. It was a place that he said from the very beginning he felt give him the right step into the pro game. But an established veteran out in front of him. He is showed out tonight. Anderson clattered. Olney crossing. Trying to pull that around, and Obregon didn't have nearly enough stickum on his cleats.
A really good ball from ZJ Olney. We talked about his service in the opening of the show. Now with the mobility of Obregon Jr., the smarts of Obregon Jr., you can really put some pressure on the two center backs. Example right there. Such a clever player J.C. Obregon Jr. is. Last second, throws his body in front of Karifa, takes the contact, and it allows CJ Olney just to stand over it. But just the saves. Notice the amount of traffic in front of Jackson Lee to get down to his left-hand side and quickly just step up and close the angle to deny the second bite at the apple. Unreal.
Wild performance from Jackson Lee. Olney. It's a delightful ball. The concept was good, but plenty of pushing and shoving in there as well. Let's take a look at the Best Western upcoming schedule. Wednesday night, Sporting Jacksonville is to get into the win column against San Antonio right here on CBS Sports Network. Louisville and Rowdies, always one of the great matchups of the season, May 30th. And then the Eastern Conference foes, Rowdies and Battery matchup June 10th, just a few days before the World Cup begins. Go to USLChampionship.com, the full USL TV schedule. Guizera goes 1v1. Afonso. In the end, it's Afonso catching McNamara inadvertently.
But again, the first touch lets him down, Afonso here. Finds himself in a nice pocket of space. Not the easiest of balls to deal with from Guizera. but notice how this first touch just pops up and is behind him. Need to be cleaner. That allows McNamara to come across, and it could be the heels, and it'll be the last action from Afonso.
Pizza Rodriguez and Zach Arivo enter in for Rhode Island. End of the night, as you mentioned, for Afonso, but for Bacharach as well. You can just see the devastation on his face. He thought that was as easy an opportunity as he was going to find, and didn't realize Jackson Lee had his go-go gadget save on today.
Been really impressive, the saves of Jackson Lee, how quickly he gets down, reactionary, the angles, the bravery. Like you mentioned, Mike, a little bit of motivation coming back here to Rhode Island. With the insertion of Rodriguez and Hervo now, Rodriguez will play as a number 10 underneath J.J. Williams. Shapiro Thompson will push wide. There's a little bit change in terms of the personnel, but also Hervo's going to drop. Good idea here.
Circulated back, and the foul got suffered. That tug at Arivo's back.
Hervo's going to be that single pivot, a little bit more defensive, which will allow Clay Holstead to be box to box and cover every single blade of turf in this stadium. So you get a little bit more legs with Holstead high up the field. Rodriguez, a pocket presence that can find that final ball.
The offside flag blows this up now.
Good run.
Even more ambitious goalkeeping. Brooklyn find their way in front. In the penalty area, Pinto stabs it back. Send Brooklyn in reverse out to the halfway line. Advantage played. Williams has an opening there. Wasn't quite able to play it. Instead, out to Quizera's move to the right. Quizera! Magnificent strike from Jose Quizera, the goal of the year. Simply extraordinary. Rhode Island ahead again, a one-man wrecking crew.
Pure class from Quizera, left footer on the right side, but the ability to set up his defender, bring in only Junior, take that long touch into the interior, and simply shape this ball to perfection. Notice the balance, the whip, the dip on this strike. Technique never in question. Finds that top corner. Simply incredible from Quizera, and most importantly, to give Rhode Island the lead in the 73rd minute.
What an incredible goal from Quizera. Finished his collegiate career playing for the great Kyle Beckerman at Utah Valley. He fled the Congo at 9 years old with his sister, moved to Utah. The first-round pick of Montreal, managed about a dozen games for the then Impact. and came into Rhode Island. This his best goal-scoring season yet, and 2 on the night. Olney. That'll run out for a goal kick. And look, we mentioned it earlier, when you talk with Connor Smith about Quizera, it's the maturation process that every young player goes through, and he is so proud of what Quizera has managed to do this year on and off the field. He has just taken huge strides. And the goal tonight, one of those once-in-a-lifetime hits.
Just so good. Simply no stopping it from Quizera. And give credit to the coaching staff for Rhode Island to enable this change. Majority of the time here at Rhode Island, he's playing as a wingback. That's a miss hit here from Jackson Lee.
If Williams can bring that down, it's a danger. And a little tie up there, sees it to Brooklyn.
Quizera has played the majority of his time as a wingback and doing a lot of the work defensively, off the ball, closing down space. But once you push him a line higher and on the opposite side, it unlocks his ability because now he has 2 options. But Sanchez touched this ball.
Well, that's the argument.
Initially think it should be in favor of Rhode Island.
And before the throw, substitution sees Cervania enter into the fray and replace Pinto. Jane Cervania off the bench for the 3rd time in 7 appearances this year. 3rd change, 2nd window for Marlon LeBlanc.
School of Business substitution for Brooklyn FC. Leaving the match is number 5.
Brother Brandon plying his trade up at DC. 4 years at North Carolina for Cervania. Was the super sub in 24. Split his time starting and coming off the bench last year, and then signs with Expansion Brooklyn this year. Through for Williams. Couple options. Seeking Arafo. Got a touch to that. They're going to say this is a flop from Arafo. A yellow card to Arafo. That's one of those where you have to give it one way or the other, right?
100%. And I think Joshua Encarnacion gets this one right. Herbo doing everything that he can to get to this ball before Alves. No contact whatsoever. He's looking for it. He's already going down once he takes that initial touch. It's the right call from Joshua Encarnacion.
Yellow for simulation to Aravo. And it looked like Rhode Island might put the finishing touch on this. Also, you saw Quizera running 100 miles an hour. He looked like the road runner. Hands up, he wanted that.
Initially, I thought Aravo was going to run over the ball and let it come across. But again, if you are Marlon LeBlanc, that is a sign defensively. You're getting just picked apart. There's no way there should be a 2v1 at the heart of your defensive box. If you want to be a team that high presses, that is fine, but you need to do it together. And most importantly, if you get broken, you need to drop quickly to eliminate the space in behind you. Because right now, Rhode Island is finding the ability to pick up their head, just simply play the ball into JJ Williams, and then it's emergency defending running after emergency defending running for Brooklyn.
And before the restart, it'll be Rhode Island dipping back in to their bench. Shapiro Thompson and Giop coming off. Grant Stoneman, the veteran defender, like-for-like swap in the back. And Noah Fuson, dangerous attacking wide player, where we've seen him most. With Stoneman, he gives you more options in terms of potentially turning this into a 3-back. If you want really a 5-back to try and see the game out. We know this is a team that can float in and out of a lot of different shapes as needed.
But also a friendly reminder of just the depth that Connell Smith has on his bench to bring in a player like Grant Stoneman.
And they're going to stay in the 4 because Bacharach already came out.
Yep.
That would have been your third center back. But yeah, Stoneman gives you a ton of options, and he's really steady on the ball.
Yeah, really clean on the ball. Can play in between lines, and that's the type of center back that you need when you're playing against a team that wants to press you, a team that a center back that is comfortable with the pressure, can break lines, and that is exactly the type of player that Grant Stoneman is.
Those are subs 3 and 4, so Dorsey or Nadarse still available off the bench for Rhode Island if they choose to dip in one more time. Still without Danny Rivera. He's been out the entirety of the season. Dwayne Atkinson, a couple goals early in the year off the bench. The Jamaican international hasn't featured in some time as well. Meanwhile, Nishikawa and Okiyoshi unavailable for Brooklyn tonight. 10 minutes to go. It's only collecting in shooting distance for him and him alone. Scored from that neck of the woods in the 63rd. Alves. Olney trying to work the give and go. Came to Scardina. Popped up by Van Kayazil. The ball inadvertently off the face of Fuson. Retained by Brooklyn. Olney offers the cross. Ball swept ahead, good first touch, flicked on still. There's the clearance, much needed. Finally, Sanchez got it away. The outside back was pushed all the way ahead on that right-hand side. McLaughlin in front of goal. And Holstead just shown a yellow card. Joins William and Aravo in the book. Bacharach on a yellow has already come off. McNamara held it up well. Alves sought to return it. He goes down and interfered with Rhode Island trying to gain possession from that position. What a roller coaster this game has been. Williams goes down.
Seen some real spectacular play in the box. And Jackson Lee saves Kozera's goal.
And the fun part is this is just the first of 3 meetings between the two teams this year. It'll be a cup game. That's the final match day of Prinks Tires USL Cup group action, July 11th back here in Pawtucket, and then it'll be at Maimonides Park, Coney Island, Brooklyn, October 3rd, when both these teams are going to be in the thick of the playoff race, they hope. Game at Rhode Island could be decisive because that group is wide open. It's really the only group that feels that way. Snap down, Scardina, back to Williams! J.J. Williams! A rocket inside the post! Inserts the dagger for Rhode Island. The goals in this game have been wild. Signed, sealed, delivered. Williams finally gets his and can wave bye to Brooklyn.
Take a bow, J.J. Williams. The difficulty on this strike. First to play Scardina, and notice how he does not need to move because he understands the back line of Brooklyn's retreating, so this cutback ball. But this is exquisite. The timing, letting this ball come to your body and simply just step directly through it and strike this ball clean. Tattoo existing. World class from J.J. Williams for the third of Rhode Island. A
lot of talking heads tonight. Rhode Island, 3 goals, 3 wonderful goals. Brooklyn's was certainly unique in its own right. What a treat this has been.
Good recognition as well here.
Off the throw. Seeking Quizera. He's coming across the box. Fuson with a smirk.
It's time for a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner.
Good pickup from J.J. Williams. Cannot be offsides on a throw, and Fuson higher up the field. My God, Mike, some goals that we've...
The championship is a big box of chocolates. I don't know that I thought this is what we were going to get, but I'm glad we did. This has been worth the price of admission and then some. Williams! Rhode Island's pouring it on! Stunning from Rhode Island. They can hit the music again. Holy smokes.
A man on a mission, J.J. Williams is. The near post run so important when talking about set pieces. Wonderful ball in from Fuson, but notice the snap over his right shoulder. Understanding he does not need to generate power, just get his technique right and let momentum do its thing. Phenomenal movement, a clean header, and no chance for Jackson Lee. Blink of an eye, J.J. Williams has a brace.
That goal song getting a lot of play tonight. Rhode Island School of Design's Talking Heads. Psycho Killer, which probably describes pretty adequately the way Rhode Island has put Brooklyn to the sword over the last 15 minutes. Goals in the 82nd and 85th from J.J. Williams after the Jojea Quizera shocker, and they have just run Brooklyn right off the field at the end. Quizera came off during the sub. Nadarse has come on. Spotted a 3-goal lead, the defender, as he comes in. That is one of the most impressive avalanches of goals I've seen in this league in a long time.
Yeah, just the quality remarkable, but the different type of goals that we've seen.
Into the air and cleared before Olney could lasso it. And there's Vegas, who actually was involved in the last goal celebration too. He ran the length of the field to take part in that. Wouldn't you if you were in his position? 100%.
We're seeing Rhode Island now shifted to a 3-back with the insertion of Frank Nadarse, Scardina, and Sanchez will be both of your wing backs. So for Connell Smith, now you get 5 across this back line, securing this win. My God, what a second half it has been for this Rhode Island side. Connell Smith saying you needed fine margins to go your way. You need to be a little bit more ruthless and put games away. They've done that and then some here in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Back from Arivo, Brooklyn has now conceded the second most goals in the last 15 minutes of games this year. Rhode Island has now scored the second most goals in the final 15 minutes of games in the league this year.
Just get the feeling that J.J. Williams is trying to get a hat trick. Notice how he's just buzzing around, closing down space. Type of mentality that you need from your striker that is infectious to every single one of his teammates.
2 goals in 2 minutes and 9 seconds. That dynamite header and that first time blast inside the post. And that'll run away. The talent of Rhode Island, the ability of Rhode Island you'd put it up against most teams in the championship any day. This is the characteristic slow start that they've experienced every year. We spoke about a month ago with Conno Smith. We said, hey, tell us one thing you wish you could tell yourself a couple years ago. Is you started an expansion team, first chance as a head coach at this level. He said, I wish I could tell myself, find my best 11 as fast as I can. And it's taken them about 8-10 games every year. And every year, the back half of the season, they're one of the most feared teams in the league. And this might be the start of that.
Well, just the amount of talent on the roster. Good players find a way to play with good players, and that is something that we've seen for Rhode Island. It's not going to be perfect, nor should anyone expect it to be. But yet, the glimpses are there, the blocks are there, they're continuing to get better and better. And I think it's also scary, Mike. You look at Conno Smith and this roster, I still don't think he knows his best team, right? Because the players form, come in and out. But one thing that is for certain, every single person you put on the field is going to produce.
Into the area for Williams. Put it back into the mixer. Push back to Holstead. Rhode Island's trying to make a statement, put on a real show here. Flick on header. Runs off target. Brooklyn has been held to .16 expected goals. Only with a pipe dream of a goal in the 62nd. But Quizera through the legs of Van Kayasiel perfectly inside the post. Lee a number of saves. It was 1-1 with 20 minutes to go. Then Quizera, an epic 30-yard curler. A first-time blast from Williams, then a header 2 minutes, 9 seconds later, and they have just put this to bed. 3 added minutes. Wow. That runs way out. It'll be a throw for Brooklyn. Ball laced through, settled. Obregon, and now lashed into the stands. Hey, for those of you tuning in for the CONCACAF W Champions Cup final, match between Club America and Washington Spirit, you'll be able to find it streaming on Paramount Plus as soon as it kicks off. Of course, we'll get you out there immediately after conclusion of this game. Scarlett Camberos and the Club America side that's been so good in Liga MX Femenil, taking on Trinity Rodman and the Spirit in that continental final. Washington has found their form in NWSL, looking forward to seeing what they can do, and Gotham falling out in the semifinal with Club America. Good news that Ann-Katrin Berger has been released from the hospital after taking just a brutal abdominal injury in that semifinal. Wishing all the best to her. A while here, 90 seconds to play. For fans that may be tuning into the championship for the first time or just waiting around for that latter game, I hope you DVR'd now early, because the last half hour of this game has been off its rocker.
I was about to say 30 minutes late. You missed the show. Some incredible goals that we've had.
Wow. Aravo. McNamara caught him. McNamara suffers the indignity of his second yellow card this season. And those are two vets. McNamara played with the Revs, as Aravo did. Aravo predated him, I believe. Years, 219 games in MLS. McNamara across Chivas USA, New York City, Houston, the Revs. Spent last year in Vegas, late season ad. Part of the expansion team here, coming back home. Handball. We'll see if Rhode Island wants to stick one more in Brooklyn's craw here at the end. They won't get the chance. It's done. It is an avalanche in the final 20 minutes from Rhode Island FC. It was 1-1 before Rhode Island simply blew it open with 3 magnificent goals. Williams, a brace in the span of 129 seconds. And Quizera, goal in the 39th and a wonder strike in the 72nd. 4 goals to 1.
The game was competitive, but it all came down to players just simply making plays, especially high up the field. Quizera scored a phenomenal goal to set the tone, and once they started to find a little bit of a rhythm, Rhode Island did not look back. These are the types of games that you need for Connell Smith to continue to grow, continue to gain momentum, and continue to push up the table in the Eastern Conference of USL Championship.
Well, the CONCACAF W Champions Cup final is coming up next here on CBS Sports Network. The USL on CBS Sports is presented by Best Western. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night. Jacksonville take on San Antonio. Till then, for Ricky Lopez-Espin and our entire team in Pawtucket and beyond, Mike Watts saying, thanks for watching this thriller of a game. Pick your jaw up off the floor. The CONCACAF W Champions Cup final is next. Good night.